Cairo, 1324. Gold is everywhere. Not in vaults, not in palaces, but in the streets and markets. In the hands of people who had never touched wealth before. And then something breaks. Prices begin to shift. Quietly, then violently. Gold, the most trusted store of value in the medieval world, starts losing value. Merchants hesitate. Traders panic and their confidence collapses. Not because of war or famine. So, what caused it? One man, Mansa Musa, but he didn't start here. He wasn't born into chaos. He was born into structure at around the late 13th century, inside the ruling Qaeda dynasty of the Mali Empire, a system already built on conquest, trade, and law, founded by Sundiata Qaeda. Musa was not supposed to become an emperor, and that's where it gets interesting. His predecessor was a ruler obsessed with one question: what lies beyond the Atlantic? He was so obsessed that he launched an expedition, hundreds of ships that never returned. Then he tried again, thousands of ships this time, and before leaving, he handed power to Musa, temporarily, but he never came back. And just like that, Musa didn't inherit power. He absorbed it, and what he inherited was far more dangerous. And that was an empire sitting on half of the world's gold supply, not producing all of it, but controlling its movement. And Musa understood something most leaders never do: control the flow, and you control everything. To the south, gold fields of Bambuk and Bure. To the north, salt mines of Tagaza. Salt preserve life while gold preserve power. And in between them, a system of trade routes stretching across the Sahara. Caravans, thousands of camels, each journey taxed, regulated, and secured. This wasn't wealth. This was economic dominance by design. But there was a problem. No one outside Africa truly understood it. So Musa decided to show them. In 1324, he left the empire behind. Destination, Mecca, on paper a pilgrimage, while in reality, a global announcement. What followed was not a journey. It was a spectacle. 60,000 people, soldiers, officials, servants, 12,000 attendants dressed in silk and gold. And then, the numbers that broke the systems: 80 to 100 camels, each carrying between 50 and 300 pounds of gold. At the high end, nearly 12 metric tons of gold, moving across the continents. And then, into Cairo. At first, then opportunity, because Musa began to give it away. Gold to the poor, gold to traders, gold injected directly into the economy at a scale never seen. And then there were consequences. Gold dropped in value by around 12%. Think about that. A medieval economy. No central bank, no monetary policy. And one man distorted the system for over a decade. But here's what most people don't know. That wasn't the worst part. On his way back, Musa tried to fix it by borrowing gold at high interest, which flooded the market again. Two shocks. Same system, same mistake, uncontrolled scale. This wasn't generosity. It was a miscalculation of power. However, Musa's real legacy wasn't gold, rather what he built after. On his return, he brought scholars, architects, and thinkers, and transformed Timbuktu into something far more powerful than a trade city. A knowledge hub. Institutions like the University of Sankore emerged, producing expertise in astronomy, medicine, law, mathematics. That's hundreds of thousands of manuscripts. This was not decoration. It was strategy. Musa was converting wealth into intellectual dominance, because gold fades while knowledge compounds. But even then, he understood limits. He did not force religion, because when he tried, production stopped. Gold miners refused to work, and so he adapted, allowed coexistence, maintained output, power through flexibility. By the time he died in 1337, around the age of 57, Musa had achieved something few rulers ever achieve. He had altered global perception. On the Catalan Atlas, he appears seated, holding gold. To the outside world, he became the symbol of unimaginable wealth. And that image spread, fueling curiosity, ambition, and exploration. But systems built on individuals don't scale forever. After Musa, weaker rulers, internal instability, rising pressure from the Songhai Empire, and slowly, the system broke down. By 1645, the empire was gone. But here's the part most people still misunderstand. Musa's wealth cannot be measured because it wasn't personal. He didn't just own gold. He controlled its flow. And when he moved, economies reacted. That is power, not accumulation, but influence over systems. And if you scale that influence without understanding consequences, you don't just create wealth, you create instability.